Hello, it's Paul Hurst here today in the sunny city of Liverpool. It's been a lovely day and I'm joined by an extra special guest for Life Stories at Lunch today. It's John Farnworth. John, how are you doing?
I'm very well, good to be on here.
Excellent. Now, we've been working together over the last couple of days, John.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been a pleasure to work with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So my name's John. I'm a football freestyler, which to a lot of people may or may not make sense. It's actually doing skills and tricks with a ball. So with football freestyle, I currently hold 8 different world records. I've won world and European championships, and I currently travel all over the globe, all over the world, events, corporate shows, TV. I do loads of different things. So it all started for me 13 years ago. I was a young lad, teenager with a big dream. I kind of saw what was possible with the ball in my brain, so I set out on a mission to make that possible, and here I am today. So
right, well, before we go into more detail, just show us what kind of thing you do.
Do you want me to show you?
Yeah, you've got a football here,
cool.
Just by accident, of course.
Yeah, where did this come from?
So off you go, just a couple of seconds worth of...
Oh, sorry, that was no good.
Right, now I could make it really difficult and carry on interviewing you here, but let's see how we go. So this looks incredibly complex.
Yep.
First of all, tell us a little bit about the 8 world records that you hold.
That's correct, so 8 world records. My first one I did is probably one of my favourite ones, and that's for doing the trick called Around the World. It's known to everyone, every kid loves this move. So the Around the World is basically going around like this. So that will be one around the world, but what I'm going to do is like a combination. In freestyle we call it a combo. So here goes. So do loads and loads. Tell me all about it.
So it's almost like you're brushing the ball rather than kicking the ball.
That's correct, yeah. So
like a sideways.
It is. It's all about technique rather than speed, and a lot of endurance as well. I'm starting to lose my breath a little bit because of that. But yeah, that's my first around the world's record. I got 85 in a minute. So I went on to do 7 more. So most amount of touches on my toes, around the edge of my toes, touches on my shins, touches on my heels, most amount of volleys against a wall in 30 seconds. But the 2 notable ones that I did this year were controlling the ball from height. So we first off did it from a crane, which was just over 100 feet. And then we did it from a drone, which was 105 feet. So we had a drone fly up into the air, drop a ball, and I had to control it without the ball dropping, and then go into a freestyle routine. So that was by far the hardest thing I've done so far, under the pressure of a Guinness World Records adjudicator. And the other one I did earlier on in this year, which has just about been publicised last week in the Guinness World Records book, was for the longest time controlling a ball on a slack line. So if you've not heard of what a slack line, or if you don't know what it is, it's actually like a high wire. So it's the modern day high wire walking. So up high on a slack line, a little bit of danger there, and controlling the ball for the longest time without falling, and without obviously the ball falling as well.
I think what we'll do next time you're here, John, is we'll drop one from the top of the Radio City Tower and see if that's doable. So part of our life story today is about how we take some of these lessons that you've learned, and how we can learn from your journey, and how we can learn from how you take something which looks incredibly complex. How do you even begin to achieve at that level?
I mean, a lot of the stuff that is really the basis of what I do is the stuff that is unseen. It's all about the control, the basics, the fundamentals, and these are just touches with the ball. So when I was younger, I used to juggle the ball for hours and hours and hours. These are like the basics. And then when I started to learn tricks and skills, because I had my base, I was able to learn bigger and better skills. But all the skills, is another kind of point, is full of little different steps. So, and Around the World looks like one move, but there's probably about 5 steps to learning that, and if you miss one of those steps, you're probably not going to get the skill. So even now, I've been training for 13 years, and there's so many moves that I'm still working on and trying to get. But what I try and do is break it down into little steps, write them down, and then each day try and progress through one step to the next.
So you're deconstructing each move, making it more manageable, breaking it down into almost bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, I mean, one example was, to do an Around the World. If I was to deconstruct that, believe it or not, I learnt it with a balloon. So a balloon obviously falls a lot slower than a football. So I thought if I could just get my leg going around the ball, I mean, a lot of people struggle to do that, so I thought, right, I'll do that first, And then once I got used to that, I would then get the ball up. So I would do something, instead of kicking the ball, I would do it from the floor, just to get used to that. And then I would go the other way. And then I would go the other way. Eventually, I would do it from the floor. And then after that, I would actually juggle the ball, then do it, and then up into the air. So that is 3 steps, but you could probably see that all those steps could be further broken down. The balloon is just one example. That's what helped with me, and you know, it helped me massively.
And I suppose that's our life story at lunch today, is saying, you know, don't look for the end result as being unattainable and unachievable, but break it down, learn smaller bites of the smaller bits of the puzzle, get that in place, and then build into a show-stopping routine. We've only got a couple of minutes left, John, but I'm gonna have to ask you to do us a bit of a let's wow the crowds here in Liverpool today.
So done everything twice.
Sure you'll agree, this is absolutely amazing to watch. And some of these skills have obviously taken many years worth of practice. Look at that control over the ball there. It is absolutely mind-blowing. But I think what John's saying is something we can actually learn from. And it's that concept of breaking a complex task like this down into much simpler steps. You heard John saying he started with a balloon, started to learn how to do some of the tricks by substituting the football for a balloon. And I'm sure that that's kind of something that we can all learn from. So if you're facing what looks like a really difficult, kind of complex procedure, or something that you want to do that you just know is really difficult and might seem impossible, then I think we could learn from John today and break it down into simpler and simpler and simpler steps. It might take a while, but the outcome is definitely worth it. John, finally, just before we go, have you got anything for our viewers today? Any words of wisdom that you've picked up as a world champion and a record breaker? What's your life story at lunch message for us?
I mean, the key thing for me, you probably see, I love doing what I do, and if you love what you're going to do, you're going to do that every day. And when you do something every day, science now backs it up, you're going to get good at it. I was kind of put down quite a lot when I was younger. I was really small, but that kind of gave me the power to fight back, dig my heels in and work every day. So daily diligence, massively key thing. Get up early. For me, I have to plan my days. If I don't plan my days and plan my training, I don't know where I'm going. So the more you monitor your learning, then you know you're on the process. That's just me in freestyle, but in any business, if you're teaching anything out there, I think if you plan, put the time in, actually monitor. I think what gets measured, it's actually, you can see where you're going then. If it gets measured, it gets managed, then you can see where you're going. And then you can like pat yourself on the back once you've done your skill, once you've learned, you know, you might have got a particular contract, a particular job. For me, it's learning a particular move, putting together a particular show. So they're the key things that I've learned from. But you know, I'm still learning myself, and I'm sure the guys out there have wonderful wisdom as well, but I hope this helps in my own little way.
We thank you very much for your time today. It's been a pleasure to work with you over the last couple of days. And from the sunny streets of Liverpool, we'll see you again soon. But of course, check out Life Stories at Lunch for more lunchtime inspiration, or to be honest, check it out any time of the day. Tomorrow we do actually have a Life Stories at Lunch. Obviously this is true at the time of recording. We have a Life Stories at Lunch at Media City tomorrow with Sir Peter Farhay, but there's more events coming up around the UK, so you can make sure that you benefit and come and get networked in with people like John and other speakers, and it'd be great to see as many of you as possible as we all learn from each other together. But from the streets of Liverpool, for now, it's goodbye.